Hello, welcome to this Tamilize program. So this is a program for you to learn Tamil language. This is offered by our Yaazh Tamil Manram. So I am K. Vijay Narasimhan, serving as Assistant Professor of Physics in Rajalakshmi Engineering College, also as the Staff Coordinator of Yaazh Tamil Manram. So I will be your primary facilitator or instructor for this course. I am a native Tamil, so I have learned this language as a native, also as a professional. In that, I have cultivated my Tamil language skills, comprehension, reading, speaking, all those things. So I am actually a writer in Tamil. So I write stories, articles, and things, and I also frequently give lectures in Tamil. So I think I'm quite qualified to help you out in learning Tamil. So this course will be mostly offline because it's very difficult for all of us to come sit together for an online session in a particular time. But online sessions will be more useful for beginner learners, especially for a language learning. Getting exposed to the speech sounds is a much better way of learning the language. So let us try to spend more time in online sessions also, and we can keep our online sessions as interactive as well as practice sessions, whereas the offline sessions you can learn by yourself at your own pace and convenience. So those who are willing to learn the script of the language, those who want to learn reading and writing, they can spend more time in offline. So those who are at the very beginning level want to learn speaking and listening comprehension, then you have to spend a lot of time in online. We will try to create resources like this, video resources. So it is sort of like an online, but you can watch it at your own pace and learn, practice, and learn. So we will keep it as a mix. And there's going to be a lot of self-learning here because this is not a regular course. So again, and sort of offline, online mix and the self-paced learning. So self-paced learning is very important. You have to spend a lot of time. You should have a own discipline, own schedule for this. So have a schedule and stick to the schedule. So without saying it goes, language learning definitely requires a lot and lot of practice. Without practice, any of the language skills will not be attained easily. So any language skill can be put in four levels, four phases, or four categories, which is speaking, listening, reading, and writing. So it should be listening and then speaking, reading and then writing. And each can be cultivated as a separate skill, but also together. Even we can club speaking, listening to one and reading, writing to one. So be very clear about your focus and stance and work towards that. We will provide you with resources for all of this. So we'll start with very basic levels, and many people are here who want to. We are already familiar with Tamil systems, writing, reading, listening, everything. So they are basic level people, but they want to make become more fluent. So they have to have separate courses. But this is mainly going to, for at least in the very beginning, for 1 or 2 months, it's going to focus on people who are very beginners, very new to the language, who are interested in learning the language because primarily they are living in Tamil Nadu, so want to interact, gel with the crowd here, the local people here. And we will use in the beginning we will use English language that's familiar to all of us, and of course eventually we will shift our focus in Tamil language. So this is an introduce yourself slide. This is basically for the online session, which nobody attended. Anyway, no problem. You can put your details in the group if you want, no compulsion. But the motivation for learning Tamil. So that's mostly Tamil is a nice language, one of the oldest languages. So and you are in Tamil Nadu right now, so you want to learn the language, gel with the crowd. So that's a good thing. Remember that, keep reminding yourself your motivation for learning this, so it's easy for you to put in the efforts and time, invest them very easily. And let me tell you something about the Tamil language, if you're not already knowing this. So Tamil is a very ancient language, at least 3000 years old. The oldest extant book available in Tamil is called Tolkapiyam. It's a grammar book. It is variously dated, but there's a possibility that the book could be about 2500 years old. And for any language to have developed a very refined grammar book like that, the language itself should have existed at least some 1000 2000 years before that book. So starting from a very crude level, the language refined itself, and then any language will start out as a speaking language, and then there'll be refinement in that, and then people will start recording what they want to record, especially day-to-day business, trade, something like that. So literature will not be the first thing people will start writing. It will be only day-to-day affairs, and then that will refine, and then people, once they settle down, then people start thinking about higher level things like art and culture, literature, everything. And then the writing system, and that refines into poetry, the poetic form, also parallelly refining the language. So looking at Tamil 2000 years before, so the literature we get 2000 years before, that definitely indicates the language would have existed at least some 2000 3000 years before that. So very easily we can extrapolate the available evidence and say Tamil is about some 5000 years old or more than that. But we don't have any solid archaeological or literary evidence to very solidly establish any date. The oldest book is about 2500 years old. So Tamil is a very old language, one of the oldest language, and certain Tamils, they consider Tamil to be the oldest language of the world. Let's not get into that disputes right now, but definitely Tamil is a very old language, one of the oldest languages in the world as well as in India, and it's a classical language. We call that Sen Tamil, classical Tamil, and it has a very rich history. So 2000 years of history and culture, lot of unique things about this culture, and also a lot of things which gel with the subcontinent of India, and a very interesting and rich literature. Tamil literature is rich in both its poetic content, poetic value, as well as its didactic content. So ethics, values, and very useful things for life. So you can learn a lot of things for our life. So learning Tamil literature is not just a pastime. We can learn a lot about that. We can learn a lot of principles that we can apply in our life. For example, there is this famous book called Tirukural. So Tirukural is abound with a lot of very proficient didactic sentences, ideas, concepts, which one can easily apply in their life, and see some personal development there. So this all will be very beneficial for any people who are learning this particular language. And right now, Tamil has about a little shy of 90 million speakers across the globe. It's about 88 million speakers across the globe. In Tamil Nadu, the major area where you find Tamil people, about some 8 crore peoples are there, which is about 80 millions. And the Tamil diaspora is spread across 100 countries, more than 100 countries actually. So mainly the Tamil population is located in India, Tamil Nadu, where Tamil Nadu, Tamil is the official language. Within India, Tamil is one of the 22 scheduled languages. Tamil is also official language of Pondicherry within India, and there are minor population of Tamil, especially in South India, in Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra, and all. And also you'll find many Tamil people across India. There is even a Tamil Changam in Delhi and all. And then Tamil population, even fourth, fifth generation population is available in places like Singapore, Malaysia, and most of the Southeast Asia places. And again, Sri Lanka, Tamil people, Tamil culture is as old as in India itself. So that's a very close place, right? Close island to India. And Europe, USA, Canada, and all. So you'll find at least second generation, third generation Tamil people, and there are so many Tamil clubs there. So you can easily find people who speak Tamil in so many of these countries. So that's another benefit. You can interact with all these many people if you learn Tamil language, and Tamil has a very considerable presence in the internet. So next to Hindi and Telugu, which has a very high number of population, Tamil has a very considerable presence in the internet. You can see the Google, when they bring Indian languages, the first thing they will bring is Hindi. Then they'll focus on Telugu and Tamil equally, because Tamil people are so active in the internet. So you go to any internet forum, you can easily interact with these people if you're well versed in Tamil. So Tamil is spread across so many countries. And Tamil as a language is classified into what we call the Dravidian language family. So the word Dravidian, Dravida, is supposed to be a Sanskrit version of the word Tamil. So it Tamil, Tramila, Tramida, and it become Dravida. So that's one theory. Could be other possible theories. So it's one word which is frequently used to refer Tamil and especially the whole of South India in Sanskrit literature as well as within Tamil literature. So because of this reason, the South Indian languages are grouped under people what we call Dravidian language family. And within that, Tamil is a very prime language. In fact, there are four primary languages in the Dravidian language family. So Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Malayalam. And there are quite a handful of other languages. There is one language which is under Dravidian, found in Pakistan. So there's a language called Brahvi, found in Pakistan. And Tulu is another very significant language in this family, which doesn't have its own script, but it's a significant language. It's right now follows Kannada script. So if you are, somewhere close to Tamil Nadu, like I saw, so Telugu people, Malayalam, Kannada, or even Bengali people, Marathi people. So you will find the Tamil language to be very close to your own mother tongue, so easy to grasp and learn. Especially the syntax and many of the vocabulary will be very similar because they are much of the vocabulary is influenced by Sanskrit in many of these languages. So we can share those vocabularies. So it will be a very interesting discovery for you also, very intriguing and interesting discovery to see common words, similar words, what we call cognates in among these languages. There are also coincidences and all. And Tamil is one of the Tamil is the first language to be declared as a classical language within India. So a classical language is should be very old. As I said, Tamil is about 2,000 years old. Should have very classical literature that's at least 1,000 years old. Tamil is very rich in that, and a lot of other aspects. So based on that aspect, Tamil is declared as a classical language of India. And being a classical language, Tamil has a very good structure, right? So in phonetics, morphology, syntax, and all those things, Tamil has a very good structure. And learning such structured languages like classical languages, Sanskrit, Tamil, Hebrew, and all those things, Greek, Latin, these definitely will help you develop your brain. Okay, so I'm not talking pseudoscience here, but it's been shown in many studies. This will trigger your brain, and if you are a person above 30, this will definitely rejuvenate your brain, keep you active. If you are a person below 30, your brain is already developing and it will accelerate the developing process. So this in a way will be helpful for you in other avenues, endeavors you've taken. So that's going to be another very important benefit for us by learning a language. This is true for any structured language, classical language, or in fact any language. The effort you put in, the similarities you find or the differences you find, compare that with your mother tongue and all. So you will understand your mother tongue in a deeper way. You become aware of certain language structures. So those are all going to help you, in developing your skills. So any skill you develop in reading, writing, speaking Tamil could be transferable to other languages as well as your mother language. So it definitely gives you a lot of benefit to do that. And let's talk about the language's structure when I say about Tamil language in this slide. So basically, languages can be classified in many ways. So as I said, Dravidian. So language family is one way we can classify languages. That's a geopolitical classification. Whereas we can classify languages based on their grammatical structure, morphology, and the syntax and all those things. So based on morphology, Tamil language is classified as agglutinative language. Most of the Indian languages could be inflectional languages, but Dravidian languages are mainly agglutinative. Some of the Indian languages are inflectional because of the influence of Sanskrit, which is a inflectional language. So agglutinative language, agglutinate, so glue. So that's the word here, glue. So what happens here is in Tamil, we will have word stems or roots, what we call Verchol or Adichol. So Tamil words or roots will be there, and we will be adding suffixes to them. So mostly we call them as particles, but we have prefix, infix, and suffix. In Tamil, especially, it's going to be suffixes. So majority of them is going to be suffixes. Sometimes we also have infixes, and we rarely have prefixes. So any prefix we see in Tamil is mostly an influence of Sanskrit. For example, there is this prefix a. So adding a prefix to a word will negate the word. So this is a Sanskrit grammar, right? So you have niti, add a aniti. So that's a negation, right? So niti, aniti, right? So that's negation, and that's also followed in Tamil. So that's because of that influence, it's followed in Tamil. But basically, Tamil particles are suffixes, and between the stem, the root, and the particle, there will be another particle. So that will be an infix. So mostly it's suffixes and infixes. And so this session is going to be an introduction session. I'm going to show you some examples, some words, and talk about all these grammar aspects and all, only in the sense of an introduction. So to give you a glimpse of what you are getting into, right? And don't worry, this is not a learning session, right? So this is only an introduction session. So we are familiarizing ourselves with Tamil language and structure. So I'm not expecting you to become an expert in whatever I'm talking right now, right? So just hear it out, just see. If you want, you see this particular slide and other things a couple of times, but familiarize yourself. That's all. That is the very idea. So we're just dipping our feet into the water. We are not diving deep. So please keep it in mind. So I'm going to just expose you to a lot of technical terms and words here. And if you're not following them, if you don't understand them completely, if you feel, uh, you know, uh, not insufficient or something like that, don't bother. That is not the aim here. Just to expose you, just showing, right? And then in upcoming sessions, we will take this slowly, one by one, in a more practical way, right? This learning a new language by yourself especially should go in multiple ways, multiple parallel tracks. So in one track you will be exposed yourself to the language itself, the bare language. So where we will give you vocabulary, some dialogues, some common sentences, right? So for example, how do you say hello, vanakkam? How do you say my name is so enadu payer? Like that, we'll give you dialogues and sessions like that. So where you'll be exposed to the actual language practically. And then on the other side, you will be focusing on learning the reading, writing aspects and other things. And a third track, you will be starting to bother about the grammar, because there are two ways actually, two extremes you can learn a language. One extreme is get exposed to the language and then identify the patterns and then see the grammar behind it. Basically, that is the European way. So when people invaded other countries, so they wanted to quickly become masters of the local language, what they call vernacular language. So they did this because they cannot go to a native and ask, "Can you teach me Tamil in English?" Because that native would not be knowing Tamil. So this person has to expose themselves to what they are speaking and identify based on objects and all. Identify, note it down, and find the pattern and all those things. That's one very extreme. Another extreme is you already have grammar text and all. So sit down and learn the grammar, right? Rote memorization of the grammar rules and all those things. Become an expert in grammar, very theoretical expert, and then come to the streets, get exposed to the language, and try to identify what you have learned in the grammar in the streets. And obviously both these extremes are not for us, right? So we are not some rich European scholar who will have the luxury of doing this. So we are going to learn language for a very practical purpose and a very limited time in our very busy schedule. So it's a better approach is to do both of this in a balanced way parallelly. So on one side we will be exposing you to the practical language, dialogues, like that, vocabulary and dialogues. On the other side, we will give you the glimpse of grammar. Both will be mutually benefiting you. So by knowing grammar, you will be able to identify the structures, vocabulary of the sentences you are hearing. By hearing these sentences, you should be able to identify and understand the grammar better. So this should go hand in hand, and that is the best way to learn the language, is my opinion. So we'll try this out, and we'll see how it works for you. And any point of time you feel not able to balance this, or being left out or something like that, please let us know, that we can have a course correction, right? So we can correct our course and change, tailor make this according to your problems, abilities and all those things, and then give it again to you. So that is the idea. So here I'm just simply giving you a glimpse of what you are getting into, right, about Tamil language. As I said, Tamil language, uh, within South India, it's very similar to the other Dravidian languages. Within India, is also these languages are very similar. So India has, at least five different major language families, like the Indo-European, Indo-Chinese, and all. But still, all these Indian languages, because of proximity, trade, exposure for thousands of years, they have accumulated a lot of similarities. So being an Indian, knowing any Indian language or having any Indian language as your mother tongue, learning any other Indian language should not be a big deal at all, right? So keeping that in mind, we'll see these slides. So just a quick glimpse into the language. So as I said, Tamil is an auxiliary language where you will have a particular root or stem word, and the grammar particles will be added to that. Particles will be added to that to give you grammatical meaning. So the difference in grammatical way. So this example here, I have a detailed version of this at the end. I'll show that too also. So for example, padi, right? I think this padi is a Sanskrit root also, pata, right? So patati, patataka, pata, right? So pati, padi. In Tamil we just say padi, not t, d. So padi. So padi, to read. Now we add ain. So ain suffix, right? So ain suffix is first person. So I read, I read, I am reading. So this I, the first person suffix is ain, right? So this ain. So padi and ain, we add that, and in between we add an infix, which will indicate the tense. So the it, the infix indicates past tense. The kiru indicates continuous, present continuous, and ip indicates future tense. So the words goes like this: paditen, padi it en, paditen, padi kiru en, padikiren, padi ippen, padipen. So paditen, past tense, singular. I'm talking about me. So first person, singular, past tense, added with paditen. First person, continuous, present continuous. So padikiren, I am reading. Padipen, I will read. So padipen. So it becomes a single word, right? So you can see how padi is the root here, and all the yen is common because we're talking about first person. But three different tenses has three different infixes. So that's a very nice structure. Now this is actually, this aspect of Tamil is going to be very advantageous for you, because by just simply learning this particles, suffixes and infixes, you can easily generate most of the verbal derivations here. But of course, with any natural language, any rule, any structure will have an exception, right? So please clearly understand this. We are learning a natural language, right? So even though we call Sendamil, very cultured, very refined Tamil, we say, despite the refinement, because it's a natural language, the language have shown development, and it's an old language, being in existence for at least say 5,000 years. So there will be exceptions to any rule we state. So for any learner, those exceptions are going to be a big headache. So in the beginning, don't bother about the exceptions, bother about the common things. So focus on the generalization, master the generalization, and then we'll go for exceptions, right? So if you start bothering about exceptions, there will be plenty of them. They will keep coming in, and we will never have an end to that. We will only end up frustrated. So let's focus on the generalization, which is so smooth and so easy, so such a blessing for us. So you see this yen, okay, so you can add that yen to indicate first person, padi. Like that, you take any other verb, nada. So nadanden, nadakiren, nadapen. So that ten, kiren, pen, that you can simply add nadanden, nadapen, nadakiren, like that. So you can easily do this, right? Of course, there's going to be one small problem here. It is this conjoining of the letters or words, what we call punarchi or sandhi in Tamil. So sandhi is there in Sanskrit also. Sandhi rules. The sandhi rules. This actually basically they're very natural actually. The very idea of sandhi is to make the word gelled. So if you follow your intuition, you can easily master them. But once again, don't bother about that, right? So whatever is tough, let's not bother about them. But we cannot change them. They're going to be there. It's a natural language. But whatever is easy, let's focus on them. Let's finish that first, learn that, master that, have a sense of accomplishment. With that strength, we will master whichever is difficult aspect. And that is why we are here. So that is why I like to call myself as a facilitator for you to learn this language, right? So it's my duty to ensure that you learn that. So don't worry about that. And let's talk about the Tamil script for those people who are interested in learning to read and write Tamil. So Tamil script writing system or orthography, right? What do you call that? It's basically the Abugida system. An Abugida system is where we have a symbol for consonant and a symbol for vowel in its free form. But when you combine them in words, the vowels will not be written in their free form. They'll be added to the consonant as vowel markers. Okay, I'll repeat that once again. So in Abugida system, there'll be letters for consonants and vowels. In free form, the vowels will be having a separate letter. But when we write them in words, we will incorporate the vowel as a marker into the consonant's symbol. So consonant symbol will be as it is, but the vowel will change. So this is ki, right? Ik, ki, e. So the consonant k, k and the vowel e is adding to that. It becomes ki. So it is looking like this. So you can see the ka symbol there, but e is becoming a marker like this, right? So it's not written separately. But whereas in English, you can see when I say vowel, right? So the consonant v and o are as it is. So they are simply written next to each other. So English is an alpha syllabary system, whereas Tamil is a Abugada system. So this is similar to most languages, right? I don't have to be explaining this to you much because any Indian language, Telugu, Hindi, Malayalam, Marathi, in all these you know this. So we have vowel markers, and we simply add the vowel marker to that. So, but Tamil writing system is having a simpler set of letters. Many people might see this as a deficiency. It is not. Remember that. So Tamil writing system is very unique to its own language. So as long as you are writing Tamil words, there is no deficiency at all. Whereas when you try to write other words, words from other languages, then you might find we don't have enough letters to do that. But that is going to be the case for any language. So there is no single language in the world except for the IPA, International Phonetic Alphabets, which is a constructed system, not a language. Any natural language in the world is not going to have a writing system which could be capturing any word from any language, right? So in Tamil, we don't have this Alpa Prana, Maha Prana consonants, the voiced and stressed voiced consonants that k, k, g, g, right, which is found in most other Indian languages. In Tamil, there's only one ka, but that ka is going to serve as a allophone depending on the place. So depending on the place, the position of the letter, the same letter shown here, ka, is going to sound as ka, kha, gha, all those things, right? Similarly for chacha, jajja, tatta, dadha, tatta, dadha, pappa, babha, all those things, right? And Tamil has its own unique letters also, right? So either way, it's nothing wrong or nothing new. It's quite natural for natural languages. They will have their own unique set of languages, of course, common also. So when I say common, I mean with other Indian languages, especially Dravidian languages. So all these letters not highlighted are common letters, and the letters highlighted are only available in Tamil, right? Let me go through that this letters now. Again, this is not a learning session. We'll definitely give you another resource where you can learn these letters from that resource. This is just an exposure to the letters, right? So just to give you an idea of what is there. Okay. So if you want to do some own learning, you can do that. But this is not a learning resource by itself. Okay. Remember that once again. So Tamil has 12 vowels and 18 consonants. The vowels have a short and a long version. Okay, so that is typical, right? Is there in all Indian languages. We are all very familiar with that. And the same ordering, very nice ordering. This ordering has a very scientific reason. Let us not get into that, but it is there, right? Anyway, so the 12 vowels, let me just read them out. A, A, I, E, U, U, E, E, I, O, O, Ow, Huk. So this is like a visarga, but in Sanskrit, the visargam in Sanskrit will take the sound of the vowel preceding it. So, for example, in Sanskrit, you put that visarga next to a, it will be aha, aha, ihi, ihi, uhu, uhu, like that. But in Tamil, this is just an aspirate. So it's called Aida Eduthu. Just an aspirate. So it's add an aspiration, h sound to the word. So agdhu, igdhu, egg. So that g, ag sound is added. And nowadays it's almost obsolete. Nobody is bothering to using it or pronouncing it properly. So don't bother about it. In most places, this is pronounced as a G, ig sound, right? So agdhu, like that, but should be pronounced as a ha sound with much of a breath like this Mahaprana sounds, kaha, like that, right? So aghdhu should be the pronunciation, but people simply go aghdhu. So they pronounce it as a G, and even they don't bother about writing them at all. So it will be there, but very almost absolute. Another thing, in vowels, most of the Indian languages, especially North Indian languages, lack this short A and O sound, right? So if you are not from a Dravidian language family, please take a note of this. So Dravidian languages, especially Tamil, has a short A and short O sound. So there is A, O is available in all Indian languages, but there is a short version also. A, O, O. So O, A, right? So like in elephant, elephant, not a elephant, elephant. O, right? One, not own, one. So O, A. So once again, let me read the vowel sounds. So the except these three, of course, this item is not put in vowel. It's an additional thing. It is not put in consonant also. So it's an in-between letter. That's why it's called as idam or tani nilai, separate. So, but anyway, I put that with, it's typical to put it with vowel actually. So there are 12 vowels, out of which 10 are very common, very familiar to all of us across India. Two, the short ones are particularly in Tamil and Dravidian languages. So let me go again. A, a, I, e, u, e, I, o, au, hug. And then coming to the consonants. So there are 18 consonants in Tamil, which are typically classified into three groups. Let us not bother about that right now. These 18 consonants, once again, are present. All of these are present in all the Indian languages and Dravidian languages, especially the last four, that they are present only in Tamil. So they are the special letters to Tamil. We call them as Sirappu Ezhuthukal in Tamil. So you have to put in a bit more effort to learn them properly. This might be a bit confusing because they are very similar to other existing letters. For example, the il. So they are very similar to the il, right? So this il, right? So you see the difference when I'm pronouncing that. Let me go again very slowly. This is so when I say Tamil, so this is it, Tamil. This is il. Same like ill, but a little stressed. So il, or il, right? So do you hear the difference? So for this il, you have to slightly twist, bend your tongue inward a bit more than you do for ill. So ill is a retroflex consonant. You are obviously bending your tongue. For these two, you have to bend a bit more. So il, right? So that's a difference. Similarly, this is ir, similar to this ir. So, but this is a different ir, right? So this is ir, which is put under hard consonants, but this is ir, which is put under this retroflexes. Especially, you can see the difference when this ir is doubled, right? So we say cut tra tra. It's a tra sound, but this ir is not be doubled at all, right? A single ir sound. It's a rolling sound. It's a trill. So it's trill sound, but it's a tra sound. So doubled, it will be frequently doubled. So that difference is there. Once again, I remind you, this is not a learning resource, just exposure. So don't bother too much. We will definitely have another resource which will very clearly explain these things too for you, meant for learning from, right? And again, this in is very similar to this in, right? Ta na, this is ra na, very similar except for the position they appear in, right? So typically in Tamil, This in is used for the final positions, end of words, whereas this is used for initial and medial positions, where the beginning and middle of words we use this and this, right? And then this in and in, this is there in all Indian languages, the na differences, tha na, right? So this is basically a palatal sound, this is a dental sound. So your tongue touch the palate, right? Like you do for it, tha, na, same position. Tha is a dental, so your tongue tip touches the back of your upper teeth. So that's tha as well as na, right? So this is a, and all the second letters are nasals in the upper column. All the first letters are hard consonants. All the alternate letters are nasals. So this is kha, nya, cha, nya, tha, na, tha, na, pa, ma, ya, ra, la, va, ra, la, ra, na. So I have added a to easily pronounce them, but what is shown here is a pure consonant. I have added a sound to all of them to easily pronounce it. So as a pure consonant, I should be pronouncing them as k, ing, ch, in, ch, in. So that's not going to be very easy. So we typically add e before them or a after them. So we can say ik, ing, ich, inj, it, in, like that, or add a sound after them, easy to pronounce: kha, nya, cha, nya, tha, na, tha, na, pa, ma, ya, ra, la, va, ra, la, ra, na. So 18 consonants are there. So basically Tamil letters are 30, 12 vowels, 30 consonants, basically 30, but we have combinations of them. So we call them as Uyir Mei. So 30 into 12 into 18, right? So each of these consonants can be added with each of this vowel, which is very familiar to you as a native speaker of any of the Indian languages or Dravidian languages. This is a very easy concept. You already know that. For example, I take this k sound, I add that to all these vowels, right? So just as an example, I'll do that here for you. So I'm taking this k sound, k, ik. I'm adding all the sounds. So ik, ka, ka, ki, ki, ku, ku, ke, ke, kai, ko, ko, ko. And of course, this is not a vowel, so let's not bother about that. So like that, we can have 12 into 18, 216 letters, which we call Veer Mei, which is what is really used in writing, right? But that is not a very difficult thing. I can promise you, if you practice this some half an hour daily, you can master this within a week to 10 days. So depending on your individual ability, half an hour a day, week to 10 days, you can master this writing system. So it's not a big deal at all. But pronunciation, it's like might be a different thing. So that will require a bit of more practice. But reading, writing can be mastered within 10 days. But given you put in half an hour a day of sincere practice, right? So I'll send you a resource for that. If you don't know how to read or write Tamil, you can do that on your own. And any help you want, you can ask me. And let me introduce you again, tip of the iceberg to Tamil grammar. With that, I will wind up this session. And then henceforth, we'll have videos like this, or if you prefer, if all of you want, then we can have an online session, an interaction session and all. But within the WhatsApp group, let's share resources, audio files, anything you want to learn. You want the pronunciation of something, you send the word, then some of us will send you the pronunciation as an audio file, voice note. So we'll keep it mostly offline so that it's easy for all of us. Most important, we don't miss anything. So if I'm going to run all the sessions as online, then if you are not able to attend all the online sessions, you will miss the learning. So I don't want you to miss the learning. So I want everyone to learn on their own pace. So we'll keep this as offline resources mostly. So we'll do that, don't worry. But so this is again a glimpse of Tamil grammar. So Tamil grammar, the important thing I should tell you about Tamil grammar is this. Tamil grammar has no genders for words. Now, once again, if you are a person whose native language is Dravidian, if you are a Telugu, Kannada, or Malayalam person, then you already know this, right? So, gender is only for objects. So, what object are you referring to? Based on that object, we will use gender. But in North Indian languages, there is gender for the words, regardless of the object. right? So like moon, for example, is a feminine word, Chandra, whereas Surya is a masculine word, like that. So your grammatical derivations, declensions will follow that gender for the word. But in Tamil, gender is for the object, not for words. So words are words. That's all. They don't have gender and all. So that's actually a easy thing. I think it's easy because it's my native language. Maybe you are used to words having gender, then this might be a problem to you. But to be frank, I think this is more logical than that, right? So I'm not demeaning any language, but I honestly think this is more logical, because you look at an object, you're talking about an object, then what is the gender of that object rather than what is the gender of the word that is referring to that object. So I think that is more logical, right? So it will be more easy to learn than that one. So no, I when I tried to learn Hindi, I suffered with this gender thing. Something you are referring to some object, but it has a gender, so it's a confusing thing. You have to remember the gender. Unless you are a native, it's a very difficult thing. But in Tamil, it's more of a logical aspect, true to any Dravidian language. Anyway, so coming back to this, but of course, Tamil has its own unique confusions for you. Now, we don't mark gender. I already told you Tamil is an agglutinative language. So there are going to be prefixes which are going to be added to the word root or stem word to give you a grammatical meaning. Now that is going to be, a combination of so many things, right? So listen to this now. Again, this is an exposure. So I will explain this aspect later in a detailed session. So the Tamil prefixes are going to tell you about the class, gender, as well as number. So there's going to be one, also the place actually, right? I have not mentioned it, but again, I don't want to frighten you, but there is a place also. So person, so first person, second person, third person, and gender, right? Masculine, feminine, singular, plural, number. And Tamil also has a unique thing called class. So in Tamil grammar, we classify objects, right? Simply anything that you respect, right? Anything that you think is sentient, you respect, we call them as high class, Uyardinai. So all people, God, right? Anything, okay, will be Uyardinai. All animals and objects, right? So this Uyardinai, Agrinai is not living thing, non-living thing, but even living things, but which we consider to be sentient, right? So in that sense, which we don't respect, we put them under not high. So that not high is called al thinai, agrinai. So this class is called thinai, classification class is thinai. So higher class, high class, which is Uyardinai. So all people, right? People with common sense, everything, sentient beings will be Uyardinai. And all animals and all non-living things, any object, will be Agrinai. See, this H is that Aidam, Agrinai, right? So Uyardinai, Agrinai. And we have 5 genders in Uyardinai and Agrinai put together. So they are called Pal, right? So Pal is gender. So on Pal, on male, so masculine. Pen Pal, pen woman, so pen Pal. Palar Pal, Palar means many, but this is Uyardinai, right? So Palar Pal. So first 3 is Uyardinai, high class. So on Pal, pen Pal, Palar Pal is only for high class. Okay, so people, God, other things like anything. But when it comes to animals and non-living things, we simply call them as singular and plural. So Ondran Pal, Palavin Pal. Ondru is one, single. Pala is more, many. So Palavin. So Ondran Pal, singular. Palavin Pal, plural. So we have An Pal, masculine singular. Pen Pal, feminine singular. Palar Pal, could be a bunch of male, bunch of female, or a mixture of both, but more than one. So that is Palarpal. And Ondran Pal, low singular, and Palavin Pal, low plural. Actually, there's a mistake here. Palavin Pal is low plural. Sorry for that. Now, the idea is, except in high class singular, we are not differentiating between the genders. Okay, so male, female is not differentiated in the other 3. only in the high class singular. So as a singular, you can differentiate as male or female, but even a combination of them, or a group of males or a group of females or a group consisting of both males and females, all of that will be plural in high class plural. And a group of a single living or non-living object, and a bunch of them. So that is how we classify the genders here. So once again, anpal masculine singular, penpal feminine singular, palarpal both masculine, feminine, high class plural, and Vandrantpal is low class singular, and Palavintpal is low class plural, right? So sorry for that mistake here. So these are the 5 genders. Again, don't worry, you will eventually be exposed to this and learn this. Let us look at an example here. So I have chosen once again the word, the root padi, to read, right? To present with you the various forms the word can take. Now you can see I written the word in the split form so that you can easily see the particles, the suffixes and infixes we add to the word to indicate the various grammatical meaning of the word. So this suffix, especially these suffixes, they capture a lot of information, right? So they capture the person, first person, second person, or third person. They capture whether it's singular or plural, and they capture the gender, whether it's male or female, right? So whether it's high class or low class. So all these are captured in this suffixes, but you can see there's a good pattern here, right? So that's very nice pattern here. So along the rows, you can see the same suffix being added, and along the columns, you can see the same infix being added. So basically, for past tense, we add it, right? So it infix. For present tense, we add kindru, right? So it's kindru, it's actually kindru, but all the suffixes are starting with a vowel. So that vowel will add with this r. So it becomes added with that. So kindru, on, kindran, like that will come. We'll talk about that a bit later. Don't worry about that. So right now we take it as kindru, and then all the future infix is ip, except for this. Of course, as I said, there will be definitely exceptions to anything, right? So this is such a nice table except for this one particular word, but that's also a good example, right? So you should be aware that there will be exceptions. So unless, other than that, Google would have already made this Tamil, the NLP of Tamil would have been completed. So why they are doing so much research right now? So because of these exceptions. Anyway, so let us focus again, as I said, focus on the things which are general rather than bother about particular exceptions, right? So let me quickly go through this table column. So in third person, first of all, right? So in third person, on Paul, so masculine singular, so past tense, present tense, future tense of padi. So to read, right? So read, so he read, right? Paditan, he is reading, padikindran, he will read, padipan, right? Penpal, feminine singular, she read, padital, she is reading, padikindral, she will read, padipal. And plural, palarpal, this could be both for male, female, and a combination of them. So there is no distinction in that. So they read, paditar, they are reading, padikindrar, they will read, padipar. And singular, living or non-living things. Of course, a verb like padi doesn't make sense for non-living things. But now, imagine you have a computer, the computer is reading out something. So you can say padikirathu, a non-living thing also can read in today's technological world. So that does make sense, yes. So singular, for a low class singular. So that read, paditadu, that is reading, padikindrathu, that will read, padikum. That's a exception here, right? So that ip is not there, but it's slightly different, right? And plural. So English, when I say that, or they, maybe I can use they, but they is not differentiating between high class and low class. But anyway, let me use they for plural of non-living things or animals, plural animals. So they read, paditana, they are reading, padikindrana, and they will read, padippa. Now, interestingly, even among native Tamils, they are losing this particular distinction. So even native Tamils are not, properly saying this particular aspect, they simply say the word for singular itself for plural also. So there is one computer which is reading, they will say paditadu. And many computers reading, they still say paditadu. They should say padittana. But even native people are not differentiating this particular point here. So you don't have to bother also, no problem. Or if you learn this especially and see some native making a mistake, don't bother to tell them, right? So paditadu singular, padittana plural. And if you are a native, though many people I see, they have joined our group, they are Tamil people, they know Tamil, but they want to improve their Tamil. So people have joined here. So if you are one person like that, take a note here. So plural should be coming like this, right? So paditadu, padikindrathu, padikkum, இதெல்லாம் வந்து singular. These are all singular forms. Padittana, padikkindrana, padippa, that's a plural form. Remember that, right? And same thing in first person. So I am doing something, right? So how singular and plural. So when I say singular and plural, I mean I, and plural. In Tamil, we can do this. We can differentiate between inclusive plural, sorry, and exclusive plural. So when I say I, we, I can mean including me, something like that, right? Including the person I'm talking to. So when I say we, us, we, like that, I can include or exclude the person I'm talking to. But I have not shown that difference here. But what I have used here is a form which is exclusive. So the plural form I am used here is when I say we, it's excluding the person who's listening to me, right? The second person standing before me. So that's the exclusive form here. This is singular form. So I read padithen, I am reading padikkindrain, I will read padipen, and we read padithom, we are reading padikkinrom, we will read padipom, right? So that's a plural form. And in first person, similarly in second person, second person is there, okay? Paditai, you read paditai, you are reading padikkinrai, you will read padipai. And plural, okay, once again, why I put this gull in bracket is because, as you can see, this gull is a plural form for low class plural, right? But people, again, as a mistake, they are using this for high class also. So when I am speaking, I'm a high class person, right? I'm Uyar Dinai. So I should not use kal, but people do that. That's a mistake, but people have done that. So you cannot do anything about that. But be aware of that. So it should be basically paditir, but people also use gal. So say paditirgal. But many times people use this kal to indicate in a respective way, in a respectful way. So if you say paditai like that, it's not respectful. So paditaya, paditirgal, right? Like that, kal adding that, putting it in plural form is a respectful way of saying things. So we'll bother about that in our conversation practices. Don't worry. So second person singular, you read paditai, you are reading padikindrai, you will read padipai. And you as in plural form. So you all read padithirgal, you are all reading padikindrீர்கள், you are all will read, so padipirgal. So the idea is not to teach you this derivation of the verb, but to tell you that there is a very nice pattern here, right? So the suffix pattern, the suffixes we add is very nice and smooth, and that pattern is very interesting. So concentrating on that pattern, you can learn a lot, and eventually you will be able to generate words on your own clearly. So the idea is Tamil grammar packs a lot of data into the suffix of a word. So the suffix of the word is packing a lot of data, and this is one reason why Tamil not seems to be compact. So English, many people have told, said this to me. People say that English appears to be very compact. Tamil is not. Especially when they try to translate something from English to Tamil, they will always end up with more words. What is said in few words in English, people end up translating that in so many words. That is because we are not well versed in Tamil. It's very sorry to say, but even native people are not very versed. In fact, Tamil people, as far as I know, is one set who claims to be very proud of their language and all everything. But they are also the same people who don't bother learning their own language clearly. If they have done that, Tamil could be more compact. As you can see, how many words you are packing into a single suffix. So Paditan, he read. So that gender, all those things, tense, everything we are packing into a small suffix. So we can be very, very, very compact. This aspect of Tamil we see in our ancient poetry. So our ancient poets were capable of expressing a lot of things with a very few words. Just a single sentence, we will be writing commentaries after commentaries for that, because they have packed so many meaning, so many sense into that single word, single letter, single sentence. But right now, Tamil people, because of their lack of depth in the language, lack of mastery over the language, they are writing and writing and writing without meaning much, right? Anyway, so Tamil is a very powerful language, and being a classical language, it's very structured also. So this is going to be a very great advantage for anyone who want to learn Tamil. That is my point here, right? So there's a good pattern. So when you start learning this pattern, you can very easily generate Tamil words, start speaking words on your own, right? So it's not going to be a lot of efforts, but of course, being a natural language, it has its own exceptions that we'll master eventually. Don't worry, right? So that brings us to the end of this session, which is supposed to be an introduction, a glimpse, a small exposure to Tamil for you. So further resources will come your way. Please ensure to have some discipline, in the sense, have a schedule, follow that schedule. Language learning especially needs continuous practice. If you lose practice, you will lose all your efforts. That's very important, right? So you have put in your time, invested your time, efforts, say for 1 month, you have gone, gained some knowledge, some proficiency. But if you leave a gap, if you say, let me take some 3 months gap, 6 months gap, you lose everything, right? So it's a skill, right? Language is a skill. So please ensure to have a schedule and follow that schedule to your own satisfaction. I'm not going to monitor you, nobody's going to monitor you, but we'll be happy to help you in any ways you want us to, in this particular aspect of learning this beautiful language, our mother tongue. We are happy to help you learn that. So please feel free to reach out any point of time. Thank you very much. See you all later.